This is my Massey Ferguson 65. It's about a 1958, 1960, something like that. Earlier model. And what was it doing? Well, I was loading some heavy soil and the engine was running fine, but it wouldn't go in gear. It just sort of stuck in neutral. And on a lot of these is you'll hear videos on it, is that people will pull up. There's a spring here. They'll pull up and then it'll pop out of the rail. So I'll show you that. But that's not what happened. This is fine. This one doesn't even have a spring. While I had it apart, I took a brush and painted it. Some of you guys might think that's a sin, but it's a work tractor, right? I just wanted it cleaned up a bit. Alright, so when you remove the steering, you can see the rails, the three rails. So this is your high-low. So there's low, see, low, and neutral, which for some reason is S, and high. Neutral, and then high. Oh, right, I got this in here. I'll just move that in a second. And then you've got your shifter here, which is for your gears. So that's your high, low, and then your two for the gears. So when it's in neutral, you can move one up to high. So that would be your reverse. This is reverse position. Okay, and then down to first. You can test your clutch. See if it's in. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what I was taking a picture of. If it's in neutral, I can turn it. There. No, I can't. So if you were to take the clutch pedal, like connect it all up, take the clutch pedal and put a block in it, so the clutch is engaged, you would find that even when this is in gear, even when this is in one of the gears, you can turn, right? Because it would be disconnected from the engine. So that's how you can test, whether your clutch is bad or not. And to understand it further too, you can raise the back wheels up and spin the wheels and see what's going on. Because there's many different things that could cause this. But just by taking this off, you can figure out if it's your shifter or not, right? But then you want to figure out, is it the clutch or is it maybe the shear coupling inside? Could be any number of different things. But by raising the machine up and taking the wheels off the ground and spinning them and watching what's happening, you can figure it out. You got the two access points, one on each side as well, but you're not going to be able to see that much. In fact, I had this off and I stuck a camera down, and it looked from using the iPhone, it looked like this was broken. It wasn't. So what you see here when you pull the tractor apart, this is the shaft. This is the shaft here. Okay. And this is actually inside here. Move this over. This actually goes in here. Put it in there for a minute. So that's going in there. See? Going in there, and that drives your drive wheels, right? Drives your wheels. Now I can't turn it because the wheels are not off the ground right now, so it's stopped. If the wheels were off the ground, I could spin the wheels and this would turn. And this is your high and low. So if you see, this is your here. There. Okay, so that's in. See those two things. One, when I turn this, neutral. See how it just spins? When you're in neutral. Well, stuck. Oh yeah, there's total neutral. Total neutral all around. Alright, so see, that's when the planetary is in low. There, low. So now I'm in low, right? This is your planetary gear unit. When I turn that, you can see it spins pretty slow for the amount that I'm spinning it. And then when you put it into high, I spin it a little bit, and I get a really fast spin there, see? So everything's good. There's no broken parts. There's no. It just goes in and out like that. This. Well, I got to put it all back together again and see if it works, because now when it's in neutral, this planetary gear thing is pretty loose, you know. So here, put this back. You gotta first, you know, I gotta put to separate the tractor. Of course, you know, there's just these couple of bolts here on both sides, and you got your brake. Disconnect the brakes, and then you also on this, because this thing has a massive front end loader. This whole unit here is a big front end loader, so you gotta remove these two U-joint things here. Otherwise, it won't separate. Alright, and there's all these bolts. But like I said, when you get to the point where it's together, don't use the bolts to pull it together, right? You got to get the whole thing together, nicely lined up. You know, there's your, oh, by the way, some of you may be curious, this is the hydraulic pump here. So you can see the hydraulic pump going down here. You know, if you're having trouble, that's where your hydraulic pump is. So you got to get it all together, this and this, all together, and then once it's all nicely together, then you would put your bolts on. So you just want 2 rolling floor jacks, and if you're by yourself like I am, you use some straps and winch them to open it and separate it. Pretty easy. You just got to take your time and jiggle it nice and gentle. This video is also useful for people wondering about, you know, these rails, because like I said, a lot of times your shifter pops out and it's stuck in a gear, right? So in that situation, what you want to do is, as you've seen in other videos, I'm sure, you open it up right here in this access port, take your screwdriver or little pry bar and gently jiggle on this. Engage the clutch, I guess, would probably be a good idea. And then, because otherwise it won't move anyways, right? And then jiggle on this and then play with the shifter. And then, you know, you shouldn't have to remove this whole thing. If all you've done is pop the shifter out, that would be what you'd do. And if your planetary gear is gone, then that's what you got to change. And if you do have a shear coupling, because there is a shear coupling in there deep inside, I thank God it isn't that, but I'm thinking that you might have to access from the PTO, or it's in the manual. Hey guys, so this is the problem with the tractor after I started reassembling it. So this input shaft goes into this collar, and what keeps the input shaft from going too deeply in, this guy has a bolt right here. And the bolt, as you can see, is sheared off. So the lock washer worked and the bolt stayed, but it snapped and it fell down into the oil. And this basically just retracted in deep inside. This is your high and low gears that go into the planetary gear assembly, and this is neutral. So when you shift your levers forward, the planetary gear catches on here, and that does your low, then when neutral, and then when you shift back with the high-low, engages here. So I'll show you that in the tractor. So that was the problem. Now I'm trying to find a picture of this part everywhere, all over this manual. I've been in every section. I can't find it. I mean, it's buried somewhere so deep, or there's a section missing, because I can't find any picture of it anywhere. I've tried for over an hour, because what I'd like to know is, what is this called? What is the proper part, and what's the proper strength? You know, so maybe I can find that. Like, I could go and start reassembling it just using another bolt of the same strength level, but why? What's supposed to be in there? I hate to put it all together again and then have it break again.